Hi everyone, it's me back again, and in today's video I want to show you how to, there's a couple of different ways to do this, but I want to show you a good way to join two squares together, and it doesn't matter whether they're crocheted in rows or in granny squares, as long as they're the same size. You can darn them, which is quite straightforward, but if you want to crochet them together, and I know these two aren't exactly the same size, I just picked two at random, but it's just to give you an idea how you can do this. Get both front sides together and put them back to back, because we're going to do this using the inside of our finished project. And as you can see, I've got the two rows, the final rows in this case, of the squares that show the little V's along each side. And what we do when we want to crochet them with an almost, not invisible, but an almost invisible join, is to go into the back loop of the one that's towards you and the front loop of the one that's away from you. And we're going to just do a slip stitch to join the two together. Now I'll use a different colour yarn just so that it's a little bit easier to see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to bring this yellow yarn in. I'm going to put a slip knot onto my hook, and putting the two items together, I'm going to go into the back loop of the one nearest to me. Start with the very first stitch, and the front loop of the one that's facing away from me. And then I'm going to do a yarn over, and I'm going to pull the yarn through all three loops. The first one is probably the worst one to start you off. But when we get to the next one, you'll see how it gets a lot easier. We'll go into the back loop of the one that's closest to me and the front loop of the one that's further away from me. Now we've got the yarn in the right position, we can pull it through and pull it straight through, creating a slip stitch. So I'm holding the V's so that it's easier to see them. So the back loop of the first one, the front loop of the second one, yarn over and pull through all three. Now this is easy when you've got your normal row where it's very clear where your V's are. So if you are doing granny squares where the squares all have the normal loops shown all the way around the edges, this is a great way to join your squares together. It's slightly different if your squares are made up of rows of stitches, because you've got a jagged edge on the end. But you can see, if I just do a few more of these, how quite neat this can be. So I'll just do one more. So when we look at it, this would be classed as the back, the inside of our piece of work. And then if I turn it over, and you can see the front side of it, you can see it creates a little pattern. And if all of your squares are the same colour, you would barely see that. I've deliberately used a contrasting colour just so you can see what it looks like, but it still ends up quite flat. When we look at the other side, it is slightly raised on the other side, but really if you prefer the design of this side as the front of your work, there's nothing wrong with doing that. So that's a quick way to join two pieces of work together.